A very warm welcome. I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings, here to cover the energy for the Divine Masculine. Now, we do have these videos coming out weekly, so stay tuned. Make sure to check all of them, and I do try to compile them on the same day so you can actually get them. Now, if you have subscribed, you will get a notification. I also make sure that I turn the bells off everything, so wherever the notification's coming from, it's from one post. And then that way, hopefully, if you don't have hundreds of channels that you subscribe to, you will get the information. Separately, if you don't want this pre-released, you can actually jump through and join our Sage Inner Circle network. Now, let's take a look what I'm seeing coming through for the Divine Masculine. I had to really sit with this. I was like, what the heck's going on? Now, there does appear to be a correlating energy seeping through, very much like the last few weeks, for those of you who have been watching, where these patterns are coming through in all three videos. Now, like I said, I had to sit back and go, okay, what's going on? Because I can kind of understand based on the transits, but when I'm channeling the energy, I need to understand the storyline that the guides are actually showing me, linking to these individuals. For some of you, I will say straight off the bat from the crowning energy, perspective is everything. Viewpoints rising above a situation, difficulties understanding. There is a risk for those of you in communication. There can be a misunderstanding. Now, I don't feel that this cannot be resolved. And I do feel even if you have not been in communication with this person, they directly are feeling misunderstood and maybe even tuning into, okay, if I communicate with my divine feminine, are they going to understand my perspective of the past, or have they effectively made a judgment and that is it? So for some of you, that can be kind of the reference point of what they're pondering at the moment in the context of this read. Now, I do feel they have been passing some spiritual tests. Some of you could be feeling the choices that they have made have been less than positive. There could be a circumstance wrapping up of the past. But I do see inside this individual's life that old, you know how they say old temptations die hard or old patterns die hard? I feel like that has changed. Although in the heart of it, what their deepest fear is that regardless of the circumstance that they've been pondering, dealing with, addressing and cleaning up, the space, the distance, the time, the circumstances, people, places, and things, their deep concern is, are you going to hear them out? That's something I think we do gain a trauma from. And this ends up being quite synchronistic inside of, any relationship, really. If we have been hurt in the past, we can tend to look in and wonder, hey, is this person ever going to trust me again? Well, every partner, get into a relationship, they've never listened to me, they've never understood, I've had to be mute. This person in the past, I do believe, has been in very controlling situations. And, depending on where they live in the world, that energy vibration is going to be a signature that may have caused and posed some challenges. Now, I can say, based on the astrology, not necessarily set to a specific date as per se, but point blank in general, they will find a way out of dodge of where they are not meant to be any longer. This will be the year that starts happening. For many, this can be in relationship to a previous situation, an unfinished business that they're addressing, fear-based frequency, time almost speeding up where they're feeling like everything's coming at them. If there have been some delays, especially in the retrogrades, I do feel that this person is well aware of what needs addressing. And it is not without trials and tribulations that they have been trying. That's what I can say. Now, we are going to backtrack after and, dig deeper. But I'll give you the first messages that are coming through as they land. Now, do I feel they have actually removed temptation? The other thing I was getting, and I'll pull a clarifier, we'll come back to this. I think there's some reference to you, Divine Feminine, but we'll go back to that in a minute. The funny thing is, I'm almost getting their choice has been made. It's like somebody who's waiting at the door and wondering what you're going to say. That's kind of what I get. And, at the foundation, they're like, I'm not like Hercules. I'm a real human being that have worries, that, puts a brave face on, gets in there and does what I have to do. And they do know that there has been a pattern where when you observe them, it's almost like to get out of dodge, they shift it up on you. The dragonfly is notorious for being able to change directions. If something is not working, they understand why you would want to change directions if you don't see them as the possibility. But they also know in order to have their star, they need to address the circumstances that they're going through. I do feel for some of them it could be a little bit of a dark time, especially if they feel they've tried to open up to you, tried to explain, there's been some conflict, or this could be something they're tuning into, but for some of you it could be. It's like, oh gosh, I tried to open up, there's been something that's kind of blindsided me, it's come back, it's, I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm willing to go and address it. And there's a push-pull dynamic. Now, we're going to move back before we go to the outcome, because I think there's more we need to understand before we do that. And we're going to move to the top row here. Now, the first thing I did before I even came live, I already pulled a clarifier because I understood the base level of the context and the reference points that were being made. Now, where it comes to misunderstandings in the connection, it has nothing to do with them not being in love with you and them not feeling the connection. That was the one thing I did get. So we do have the intimate connection. We do have the, sometimes we can get angry. Sometimes there can be misunderstandings. And I do feel that, they do have this loyalty towards you. Now, the loyalty they have is that it has nothing to do with the fact whether you are intimate or aren't. They are very attracted to you. Now, as to temptations with other people, the one reference point they're making is they do kind of feel cursed because the only person they have consistently been attracted to, be it they've wanted to be that way or not, has been you, Divine Feminine. Okay. They're wanting you to be straight. They also know that there could be some words here. Okay. For some, it could be that you feel you need to give them a map. But again, I'm just pre-warning you, there could be some misunderstandings. I'd say definitely if there's heated emotions, you are in communication, I would just pause. We are moving through the eclipse energy, moving into March. There's, the Virgoian energy. We're going to look at the detail, but I think some of those details are going to come through. And, it's not that these wishes aren't going to come true. It's that we're moving through these things. And I regardless, I especially do see from the foundation, this person might misunderstand. Yeah, all I'm hearing is misunderstand. And they're saying, oh, okay, I'm going to go. Now, is it moving back into the run and chase? No, I don't believe so. But I do think they're going to be cautious and gentle and try to express their side. And they're wanting you to lower your thoughts. Something that you do here is actually going to show some perspective. And I do feel for DM, I think that there is going to be a message, some information that comes through, maybe even some advice. This could be from counterpart, this could be from tribe, but something that has been lingering on. It's like there could be something popping off. Both parties here could be picking up on it energetically or in the 3D, and then bang, there's information that comes in. And where they felt that this delay with the star card, like they have been in this dark space, it's like, oh, even it's almost like from a psychological point of view, they're trying to look in the crystal ball to the future, and they're like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? And then bang, suddenly something's changing. And the insight that was hidden from them, the information, the term go came through. It's like they're able to now, and it's like the whole vibration shifts. And if there was any conflict, the context of that just strips away, falls away, is out the way, and they're back at it, and they're moving in and going in my angel's fed tread. Now, you know, the angel's fed tread frequency, in reference to that statement, I'm not feeling like they're going in to do something stupid. I feel if there was conflict and they were worried about how you would respond, it's almost like suddenly none of that matters. And they're through the gate and they want to communicate. And it's really about sharing something really exciting that is going to change the trajectory of the connection. Keep us posted as to how that lands for you and if you get the information coming through. Remember, time is fluid and it can be a week or so later. However, what I am seeing is big changes for the path. Now, we do have these all out at the same time. And if you do need a booking to tune into your particular situation, you can go down to our website directly below. We also host the Sage Inner Circle Network via the website. All those links, be it as bookings, events, vlogs, and more, come through. Download the app. It's free, and whenever you're ready, you can book and read on the go. Our Sage Inner Circle Network page actually has information about what we offer, and we do have the sign up location on there too. Otherwise, I'd love to hear how this reading related and what is coming through for these individuals, and if you have any information.